Good morning. Welcome to Margaret being Margaret. What you saw is before I took my shower. This is Sunday, so it was around 7, I think. And remember, it was daylight savings time, so we lost an hour. And I wanted to get into that room and put another coat on the window. I think you saw the door a little bit. I am 100% unhappy with putting that molding on the door. It's not sticking well. I used liquid nails. I put plenty. I went over it and put more if I needed to. I don't think it's going to look good. Luckily, if I fall on my face with that idea, they're only doing, I think, 3 doors that they would have to replace. 4, probably more, but not a lot more. So if I give up, I'm going to see it through. I'm going to caulk it and do the painting. I got the stuff to take off a layer of varnish to make it so the paint can stick. It worked unbelievably well on the door. You saw me do a little sanding on that second window because it is not working well on the window. And of course I bought 3 quarts of it. This is Vaseline, because you know this time of year I need it. All right, I'm going to do a tiny bit of makeup, but I wanted to talk to you while I did it. So let's get ready to do that. You know, I think I said, and if I didn't, it's all in my mind, which is okay. I had put an SOS out to my sisters saying I'm feeling a little isolated. And Friday, Shirley and Dave picked me up to go to dinner. I've never gone to dinner so much in my life, and I mean that. At a fairly new restaurant that's only a block away. I think they're having their recent opening pains because it was forever to get a server. It was only 4:30 when we got there. Very inattentive. I don't know if he was overwhelmed, but I ordered grilled broccolini. Now, grilled would indicate that they would cook it. 45 minutes or so for the food, I think. And it was cold. I mean, just stone cold. So it had been sitting there for a while. Shirley and Dave's food was good. They didn't have any complaints. Mine, not so much. I'm telling you, Nikki actually stopped by yesterday and was going back to the restaurant where I got the Swiss patty melt instead of a hamburger, instead of just a plain hamburger, and asked if I wanted anything. And I said, why would you do that to me? No, let's take a break on this ordering business because obviously I'm not supposed to be. And it was funny because Mike and Nikki, I guess, get food from there semi-regularly. And when she called in her order, they no longer had what Mike usually orders. I said, oh dear God, they put the last name together. So that was my Friday. Yesterday, remember I said there were going to be workmen in and out? I love that. I know you guys think I'm crazy, but I love that. There was an electrician here all day, or most of the day. He's a young kid. He just changed light plugs, light switches out into a new white. It's amazing how much better the rooms look, and they haven't been painted or anything. The light switches was something that she could have this young guy do, and he switched out the bathroom lights. But I'll have to show you if I remember. The bathroom sconces had the switches underneath to turn them on. Well, none of them realized that. Of course, Mike and Nikki wouldn't because they probably haven't even turned the lights on here. I didn't think anything of it. And nobody asked because why would they? And I mean that, why would they? It makes no sense. But Nikki had bought sconces that didn't do that. She doesn't want those, of course. After the young guy put them in, I walked in the bathroom and they were facing down, and these weren't sconces that should be down. So I mentioned that to him and he switched them around. But then he asked me where the switch was to turn them on, and I just started laughing and said, no, don't you remember when you took the other ones out? They had the knob. Well, he hadn't noticed. So I've got brand new sconces, but no way to get electricity to them. That will have to be done in the future. And the future won't be long. I mean, they'll get to it right away. Just laugh. So while he was here doing all that, I'd taken the door off in that bedroom and started playing Let's Make a Deal with measurements. Took me all day. Now I did it on paper, and then I kept changing my mind about how it looked. I'm still not happy with the final look. After that, Michael was here, and that cellar had that horrible 80s shag carpeting that had to come up. Well, while he was waiting for the electrician to get here, he started ripping that up, and his brother-in-law and kids showed up, which was, it makes me so happy because one of Michael's friends years ago married one of Nikki's sisters, and Mike and him were good friends in high school. So to have them be extended family now is really nice. Well, he showed up with the kids just to see how the progress was going. What progress? And the kids and him helped Michael, and they ripped out that carpeting down cellar in like half an hour and threw it on his brother-in-law's truck and took it to the dump. And Michael was thrilled. So that's one job out of the way. And because of that, the cellar looks 100% better. Maybe we'll even take a walk down there. I went down to get my laundry this morning and wasn't scared. It's not dark and gloomy, and it doesn't look like a serial killer could still live there. Michael is away for a week, which means for Nikki in particular, she's on her own. I know millions of people do it alone. You just feel for them because, she goes to work at 5:30 in the morning at the latest normally and doesn't get home until, after 4. And she's a school teacher, so her day doesn't end, but she's got to get into mommy mode, which she does without a hitch, but there's no relief in sight. And because of that, that means my day starts extra early. So it's going to be a long week for all 3 of us, the baby, Nikki, and I. Nothing we can't handle, but I don't think any of us are particularly looking forward to it. And during the week, I am too tired to do any construction. I get home around 5. I'm going to go to bed at 8 because I'm getting up, 4:30 at the latest. It's just, I run out of steam. Those 3 hours or so that I'm home, I want to have dinner and kind of veg. Usually the TV doesn't even go on. I just go into a stupor. This morning, I'm doing makeup because I always do makeup, but I'm doing, wow, look at how much that shows. I'm doing a little bit because I'm going to Bernie's, and actually Karen and Shirley are going after they go to church, and we're having a sister's tea because I had said, you guys got to step it up here. I need sister time. So that's nice. Now, I feel badly because I wanted to paint today, but your priority has got to be family. And from there, I'm going to run by Hannaford's because it's on the way home. I may even go by the School Street house because I haven't done that yet. I've been avoiding it. Well, nothing to avoid. I don't go that way. I need to come up with ideas on what to feed the wee one. We're going to have to come up with a name for her. Somebody did ask if I'm ever going to say her name, and Mike and Nikki are never going to give me permission for that, which is fine. They're going to protect her as they should, and so should I. I'll come up with something. But I have to come up with some ideas to feed her. Nikki is great, and she eats so much cleaner than I do. So already I'm in trouble because I can't think of anything clean to feed her and to get enough protein in. And, side story, when my kids were young, Dennis was probably 8. We went out for dinner, probably the one time a year we did. Dennis had spaghetti and choked on it, and it got stuck. And Steve was the first responder, so he had made me just wait, and all I see is this kid dying in front of my eyes. He gagged and choked and couldn't inhale, and Steve kept saying, let him try to get it up. It went on for 45 minutes, probably 30 seconds. That is so much in my mind. And the little one is starting to eat like strips of toast with ricotta on it instead of butter. But she puts it in her mouth, and there's so much in her mouth, and she doesn't have the dexterity to be picking up the small pieces yet. And she starts to gag. I'm done. I'm done. My heart is racing. I can't stand it, and I can't do it. So I can't be doing that without ruining my day. It's time for her to be on table food. My thought is, get the green beans, get them, slice them up really thin, or even put them in the chopper to get them chopped up. Same thing with peas. Carrots she does, sweet potatoes she loves, but there's got to be more to life than that. So Hannaford's is going to be an afternoon trip just to roam the outside aisles, and see if there's anything that she can have. Now, she had an allergic reaction to eggs, not a bad one, but so I can't do that. She hasn't had beef or chicken. That's going to be on Nikki's watch in case of allergic reactions. So I'm limited in what I can add. She does do yogurt, but I'm thinking you got to get tired of the no consistency of things. And I've cut up some blueberries and put it in things. I'm going to see if she can do cottage cheese and pineapple, because that's got a consistency to it. I have to ask Nikki that today. But I'm a little bit flummoxed on what to get her. I'll take ideas. All right, you saw me do the round brush and turn it this way. When I'm doing this, putting it in and turning it back, it's making it fuller here, hitting it with the heat, hitting it with the heat, hitting it with the heat, and then letting it cool for a second and dropping it. It does give me this much more fullness. Now, because I've got fine hair, it will be straight in 10 minutes. And this is massively too neat for me. Somebody said how much better they like it when it's just done like this. This is how I looked when I was growing up. I need messy. So my dilemma is always, do I just put some teasing in it and leave it? Or do I put a curling iron or a flat iron and that changes the look? I like this look. I just want it to be bigger and messier. Here's the other thing. It always looks better when it's longer, and recently I've been trimming it too short, but this stuff right here drives me crazy because I plaster it down, because can you see how much better it looks than if it gets full right there? That doesn't do anything for me. So normally I hate this and I keep trimming it off, which is going to happen, I think, in just about a minute. And this flat spot has always been the bane of my existence. So what I usually do there is the same concept of what I do with the curling iron. Sorry about that. Is with the brush, I take the curling iron, stick it in, and turn it backwards on itself. I think you can probably see that okay. Because when I let it go, see that big bump? So if I do this, I'm going to go back and curl the edges, but I just want you to see that how big bump it makes it. And when you do the rest of it, over it, the bump just keeps it full. So if I do this, can you see the difference in how full it is? The other thing you've all seen a million times is when after I use the curling iron, just throw it on some Velcro rollers while it cools, because that also helps a lot. All right, so if I just did that to make it full, shake it out, it's not going to get flat in here nearly as fast. Unfortunately, up here it still will. Now I do the same thing. Going to go against it, curl it to the ends, let it go against it, meaning up to give it that big crease there. It's like crimping it against your scalp the opposite way. I was hoping that I'd get a coat of paint on that door, but I still have to caulk it all. And I'm going to run out of time to get to Bernie's. Hopefully I'll have a little bit of energy late this afternoon when I get home. All right, so going backwards against it. Can you see how much fullness it has without teasing or spraying? I'll still have to tease and spray. But I've got something to work with then. Let's get this off my eyeballs. I do the same thing here where I go backwards on the sides. Just above the eyebrows for some fullness there, because you know I want this look to get a little bit off the angular face and make my face look a little more oval, because we know oval is the perfect facial shape. It's what we all secretly desire, even when we don't know it. Yeah, see, this is what I don't like when I do this, because it changes the look so much. However, I can fix it. For those of you saying that teasing destroys the hair, do you understand that I'm not teasing? This is called lacing. Probably called a million different things. I call it lacing, where you're just separating out the hair enough so it's confused like the rest of me. And then it won't fall down quite so fast. You can see I can even still put the comb through it a little if I wanted to. This right here will drive me nuts. So this is more or less what I want. This is not. It's not real bad. However, I grab my razor, take all of this part away, because that belongs part of the length. And yes, razoring on dry hair does not feel good. So now I don't have to tuck that. It's gone. So I have to look in the mirror. I'm only so good. All right, see that? It takes this out. And that's a whole bunch of hair. I don't know if you can even tell. But I just took a lot of hair off. That's my day. If I want to spend quite a bit of time. Let me get dressed. And then I want to show you that door, check that window, show you the basement. I'll be back. All right, this is the room that I'm playing with. This is the door. I took it off by myself. I was very proud of myself. These are the add-ons. They're not. And I had to put so much liquid nails that come out the sides, which means I'm going to have to razor blade that off. And then I'm going to try to paint it all white. We'll see. This is the window that I've got the second coat of white on. It's going to need a third. The third one I'll do with a roller. That's that cabinet paint that I was telling you about that's supposed to be so good. This, I have done a light sanding. I have done that stuff to remove it. It's still way too silky. So I'm gonna have to get the sander out and actually sand it, which peeves me because I didn't want to. And that's okay. So here's all the little wood pieces that I got in my miter box to cut it up with. I will, when I get home, if I have the energy, take off all the liquid nails that is on the sides and then caulk everything real well, let that dry, then paint it. Half of me is hoping it's horrible, so I don't have to do anymore. It's a monster of my own making though. Then, in the bathroom, these are the sconces I'm talking about. Very, very nice. The other ones had a button here to turn on and off. Those don't have a button. Nor do they have, I'm checking out the hair, see that? Nor do they have a switch. But they're very nice. And I just made a cup of coffee, hang on. I know, coffee. I need some caffeine. I need some caffeine. I don't know about any of you, but I put salt in everything I do for coffee because coffee tastes so bitter to me. And you know salt gets rid of the bitter taste. I did it out to breakfast last week with my sisters and Bernie looked at me like I had lost the last marble I have, which you should know better. I lost the last marble I have a long time ago. I also finished my banking, closed the accounts I needed to, took the check, put it where we needed to put it for all of this. That part's all done. Now I'm going to do what I never thought I'd do and take you down to see the cellar again. No, I'm not. Something's ticking down there. You'll have to see it another time. Nope, not happening. I might have time right now to do the caulking before I leave for Bernie's. I've got a half an hour. So let's go get that done, maybe. Well, even though I'm really itching to get this going, I've only got 20 minutes before I have to be out of here, so this will wait. When I get home, I'll caulk it, maybe be able to get a coat of paint on it. This is the inside of what would be their bedroom door, so if I screw it up a little bit, it's not a big deal. After it's done, we're going to get a good look at it and see if it was worth it when it's dry. Right now, I'm not convinced that it's going to look good enough to look good enough. You know what I can do? I can sand for 10 minutes. I can't do nothing. Sorry. All right, first we got to take off the liquid nails that have overflowed areas. All of this, for some reason, took. And there's nothing really to clean up. I don't understand it. So many things in this world I don't understand. Okay, let's see. Now see, this corner is still almost wet because I ended up putting so much extra. Yes, I know that's dangerous. I'll be right back. I know I could barely find things in my own home. And now that I've packed things up, I shouldn't say this out loud. I couldn't find the cutting knife, but look at that. Well, it's working. Oh, crap! Did you see it? That's what I said. This stuff just... People say that liquid nails is perfect hold, and so, but that just popped right up. And I'm not doing more liquid nails because I have to pop up the whole thing. I'm not doing that. Welcome back, everybody. It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I went to Bernie's for a luncheon with the sisters. It was phenomenal. Bernie always feeds us, which, you know, I said, when you were invited to my house for tea, I gave you tea. She's a better person than I am. And we sat and laughed for 3 hours. It was wonderful. And then I ran to Hannaford's. Wanted to get some stuff, remember, for the baby. I got some Brussels sprouts. I got stuff to make a lentil soup, but it'll be more mild. I won't put salt in it, which sounds yucky to me. And a couple little things. But first aisle, because I shopped the outside aisles only, I left my little cart, because I only get a little one, and walked around looking at the vegetables, turned around and my cart is gone. Now, I thought I was losing my mind. And I very well may be, we know that, but it's nowhere. I probably spent 5 minutes, because half of me is figuring somebody's going to come out laughing at me that I know. And the other half is like, really, if somebody took it, once they bring it back and they realized it wasn't theirs. I started to walk out and I thought, no, I have 2 grocery bags. I walked around, I said almost left because of the bags, and then I thought, it's got to be somewhere. I mean, I truly walked around the produce area 100 times, and I knew where I left it. So I really didn't think I had lost my mind, but put back the couple of things that I had in my hand, ready to give up. Went down the second interior aisle, and my cart is sitting there with all my stuff in it and my 2 bags. So somebody had taken it by mistake, but then instead of returning it where they took it from, they just walked away and left it. Oh, people are so inconsiderate. I mean, I'm sure it would have been embarrassing to bring it back, but it would have been the nice thing to do. So anyway, I did get my little bit of grocery shopping done. Just put the soup on. The Brussels sprouts are roasting because it's the only thing that's going to give it any flavor for the kiddo. And I'll get this done because this is a quick thing. It's all done now. Take this out so it doesn't put pressure on it, and then I'll have to put a screw in this to keep it from drying out. I hear things beeping and it smells like it's burning. Okay, so I'm still not going to be able to paint the door today. The liquid nails is still rubbery. So I can put another coat of paint on here, on this window. Put a first coat on there maybe, but that means I have to, bananas. I hate prep work, I'm not good at it. I'm too impatient. Almost did it. Almost put it to protect the wood instead of protect the window. All right, so I can put a first coat of paint on this with a brush. And then I'll do what I'm hoping will be the last coat on the trim with a brush. And then I brought in the roller to do that. Yeah, while I'm here, this is my impatience, wanting to know what it's going to look like. I really am not feeling the love on this thing, just not. This is where my Michael is so meticulous that I can't be in the house if he paints, because this would take him 10 times longer, and it'd be 10 times better. I'm not saying he's wrong, he's absolutely right. But I could never do it, especially for the first couple of coats. It just needs to be slapped on there. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Seems to be soaking in a lot more, so that's a good thing. All right, coat one. Now I want to do this window carefully. Margaret and carefully don't do well together, but we're gonna hope. That's it. That's the third coat on that one. So when I take the tape off in the next couple of days when I have time, we either love it or we don't. And from what I can see, my glasses are filthy. It looks pretty good. I'm finishing up. It's probably around 4:30, maybe later, and I'm going to go have something for dinner in a bit. Wind down, because this is my big week of getting up extremely early. That's okay. They're all worth it. I most likely will not be checking in. I think I'll be comatose when I'm not on duty. So I'll see you next weekend, if not before. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'm done.